Hey everybody, my name's Sean Carter, and I am the owner and frequent host at the BlueRIDGE Comedy Club, where we are right now. And I'm about to interview my good friend and comedian, Bryan Morton. Hey Bryan, how are you?
Hey, good man, how are you doing?
Great,
Awesome.
I feel good today.
That's a good day.
Yeah, so are you excited for the show tonight?
Can't wait, man.
Nice.
I'm really excited. So I always love doing comedy here, so tonight's that's a big one for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So let's talk a little bit about how you got into comedy. Did you know, like, from a young age that, like, yeah, I'm gonna get up on stage and do that?
You know, I always like to make people laugh, you know, friends and stuff, and I always thought it'd be cool to do stand-up comedy, and I think the first exposure I had to it, I saw Jerry Seinfeld at Caesar's Palace, and I left, and I hurt. I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, if I could just do that, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity here in Bristol to do an open mic, and then just kind of picked it up and, you know, tried to do it more when I could, you know.
So your first experience with stand-up comedy was at a live show?
It was at an open mic here that they had in Bristol at the time. Okay. And it was really a lot of people like me that, you know, were just dabbling, trying to get into it. And so it was a rude awakening, the first one, you know. It was it didn't go quite as I had anticipated, but
sure.
It was enough. I did get enough laughs where I was like, you know, I kind of want to try that again. So it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And so for like that first year, I assume around Bristol there probably weren't like a ton of places to go do comedy.
Not at all. I mean, as a matter of fact, I mean, these guys that were doing it, you know, they did it was a little bar here in town, and they did it once a week. Mm-hmm. And other than that, I wasn't aware of anywhere in the Tri-Cities that was doing anything like that, you know. And they did it for a little while, and it kind of, you know, they kind of quit doing it, and then it's hard to find a place to do that. So.
Yeah. So you're saying the first time that you went up was like a little bit of a reality check.
Oh, absolutely.
But what was the first time that you went on stage and you were like, yes, this is it. Yeah. Like, this is how it's supposed to be.
So it was one of those mics, but it was a couple down the road, right? I had learned a couple of things that I just picked up on from experience, but the other thing was too is I was taking it seriously enough that, believe it or not, I went and got a book, you know. I read through it as guys like, you know, it was a guy on stand-up comedy, and it just a lot of little things that I picked up from there. I was like, I'm gonna try it, you know. Yeah. And so it was probably 3 or 4 times, or maybe the third or fourth time that I did it. Had some friends there. It was a nice crowd, which always helps too. Yeah. And everything just seemed to click, and I left and I was like, man, this is awesome. Yeah, it was a great experience. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I have put on a few pounds. I was out shopping for clothes the other day. You know, outgrown some things, and I was in the men's department at a department store, and I came across a whole aisle of Spanx for men. Have you guys heard of Spanx? I mean, I know some of the ladies wore Spanx. I didn't know that they made Spanx for men, and I'm like, what kind of guy is going to wear Spanx? So I'm trying them on, and
so now that we've talked about that, the nice time, let's talk about one of the times that didn't go as well as you planned.
Yeah.
What's like a night that you were just like, you just went home just thinking, what am I doing?
Well, so, you know, there wasn't much to do around here. So, and I travel a lot for work, and I was in Philadelphia, and I looked up an open mic in Philadelphia, and I found one, and I went, and I was pretty excited. Mm-hmm. I had my jokes lined up. You know, at the time, I'm 47, 48 years old, you know, and I go to this open mic, and now everybody there is like my kid, you know, and I started telling some of my jokes, some of the things that I thought, you know, normally hit or whatever. And I think, you know, with the audience, it was a little more creepy to them than it was funny, you know? And, you know.
They're like, what's Dad talking about?
Right, yeah. You know, I think I told like a joke that was a little, you know, risque or whatever. Like, this dirty old man, I don't know what he's doing here, but yeah, that didn't go very well. You know, it was crickets. I didn't have any Pokemon jokes, so it just didn't work out. You know?
Sure, yeah, and they were probably like trying to capture them in the audience while you're there. Yeah, yeah, man, I hear you. I had shows. I had one show where the booker came over to me and was just like, don't quit. Like, I know you think you should right now, and I wasn't even considering it. I was like, I know that was bad, but like, I'm in, you know.
Yeah.
And he was like, don't quit, man. Like, you'll be all right. I was like, thanks. This is making me feel worse.
Right. Yeah. Hey, you know, it's the one thing I figured out is that they don't always go well.
Sure.
And you know, it's those things you can't take personally to really kind of keep going and go back out again and do it, because, you know, that's one of, you know, many that didn't go as I'd thought they'd go. So, but for each one of those, there's one that you're like, oh man, that was awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like it's much more good times than bad, but the bad times are kind of like fun to think about.
Right, yeah.
Because it like just sticks out in your brain so much.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever had a good set, or what you thought was a good set, and somebody in the audience was like, "You'll get them next time, man." You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No. So as a matter of fact, it's funny. Just recently, I did some jokes at your open mic.
Yeah.
And I'd done them the week before, and it went really well the week before. And I did them this past week, and the guy came up to me. He's like, "Dude, you didn't get near as many laughs as you should have." And I was like, "Thanks." He's like, "They were killing it last week. It's the same jokes. I don't know what happened." I was like, "Well, you know, it's a different crowd, different time.
Yeah.
They don't always work all the time."
And some of it might have been the same crowd. So if they heard the jokes last week,
Oh, sure.
you know, the surprise of that punchline is gone at this point. So,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, open mic is always fun here in Bristol. Like, we've had, what was it, like last week, there was like 50 people at the open mic.
It's awesome, man. I'll tell you what you've done with the open mic is incredible. I mean, and I think too, where you're doing the class, it's just kind of spurring more people to get up there and try it. And those people are bringing people, and it's just a great night here. So
And I've been like pleasantly surprised by new people just like right away.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Getting laughs.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, so some of those guys are killing it. That's awesome. You know, and if they're encouraged to keep doing it, then that's just more local talent that you've got to put out here in these shows.
Yeah, right on. So what's a goal that you're going after right now? Short-term goal that you're chasing in comedy?
I think my short-term goal is really to kind of build my list of material to where I can do more features, more headline type shows, and really have a variety of jokes for different types of audiences too, right? So, you know, I've got a lot of clean material. I've got some not so clean material, but I think I need more of both, right? You know, because sometimes, you know, you want to be able to be versatile and be able to perform in front of any audience. So I think my short-term goal is to really keep writing and just try to keep working things out that work and kind of build that list of jokes that I can go to.
For sure, yeah. I mean, just expanding clean material is such a great exercise, and it's also so useful because, like, you know, you hate to have somebody hit you up like, "Hey, can you come do the show?" Pays really well. You got to be completely clean, and you're looking at your list of jokes, just crossing off half of what you were about to say that night, and going, "Do I have enough time to do this show?"
Sure, yeah.
You know, so always expanding that is always helpful.
Absolutely. Sure. I think long term, you know, I'd like to do more shows. It's been for me, you know, mostly a hobby for a number of years because the kids were growing up and I had a lot of things going on with work. You know, now, you know, they've kind of flown and grown. You know, work is still work. I'll keep doing that, but I have more time to really kind of get out there and maybe on the weekends travel some places and try to do more shows and just kind of see what happens.
Cool. So outside of Blue Ridge Comedy Club, what's your favorite comedy club or venue that you've ever played?
Let's see here. I want to say I really enjoyed the Penthouse in Charlotte recently.
Okay.
It was a new venue, very cool, kind of in a hip part of town, nice audience. So the Penthouse has got, in the bottom, it's got the duck pin bowling.
Okay, yeah.
And, you know, it's the place where people pour their own beer. They get the wristband kind of thing. So there's a lot of people there. But what was cool about the stage is in the middle part, and they all got all these nice, you know, leather sofas and stuff. So it's like you're performing to people in your living room.
It's like a lounge.
Yeah, it's like a lounge. So it had a pretty cool vibe. That was a cool place. So, yeah, I'd say recently that's probably one of the better places.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. The vibe here is better than anywhere I've been.
Oh, I appreciate that.
No, absolutely. This is a great club.
Well, that's why I told you. You know, don't even talk about Blue Ridge because that's going to be the obvious answer. But
sure, yeah.
one of the places that I love is Good Nights Comedy Club in Raleigh. I did a show there that was just like off the chain good. Like crowd was hot, full, like amazing.
Never been there to that one, you know. So
yeah, it's not that far of a drive from here.
No, not bad at all.
Go check it
Not
out.
bad, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Bryan. Well, if people want to follow you, where can they find you?
Well, I'm on social media. I don't have, any kind of a special comedian page or anything at this point, but reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on both of those. Public profile on Instagram. So follow me. I typically will post where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing. So that'd be a good place to start.
That's great. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
Enjoyed it, brother. Thank you.
I'm Sean Carter from the Blue Ridge Comedy Club. Thanks for watching.